Hi there, business owner, and welcome to the 3Bs podcast, the place where we go beyond the numbers and dive into strategies to help you build a better business one step at a time. I'm your host, Stephanie, a multi-award-winning entrepreneur with over a decade of experience in the bookkeeping and accountancy world. If you're a business owner looking to streamline, grow, and get back the time that you deserve, you're in the right place. We're tackling real-world problems, answering tough questions, and digging deep into business building secrets in just 15 minutes each week. So are you ready to build a better business with confidence and clarity? Then let's go. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the 3Bs podcast, your go-to place for 15 minutes of CPD certified motivation, inspiration and education each week. Now today I want to talk to you about something I've seen way too often lately, including in myself. It's kind of ironic that today's the topic, and that is business burnout. You know, that creeping feeling of exhaustion that isn't solved by an early night, that moment when the things you built with love start to feel like a little bit of a burden, when your calendar is so full, but your energy levels are just empty. If that sounds familiar, then you are not alone. Whether you're on the edge of burnout or knee-deep in it, this episode is here to be honest, helpful, and hopefully a bit of a reset. Let's start with the signs, because burnout doesn't always look like collapse. Sometimes it's quiet. Here's some things that you need to watch for. You're always tired, even after resting. Your usual work feels heavier or harder. You're snapping at people, even if you don't mean to. Now that can be at work or at home. My poor fiance gets it in the neck when I am definitely approaching burnout. I am starting to realize you've stopped caring about things that used to matter, and you're stuck in a cycle of, I just need to get through this week. But then the next week comes and then it happens again and it happens again and again every week. But that's not the only ways it can look. It can also look like overworking, not underperforming. So if you're still smashing your to-do list but feeling hollow behind the scenes, that still counts too. I definitely am more of the overworking kind of business burnout, in that I will say yes to too much and I will do too much and never ever take a break. And then what happens is what's just happened to me is I pick up a virus and I've got kids, we get sick, but I pick up a virus and it floors you. I have been in bed for almost a week. Today's the first day I feel almost human, still not quite there. But I think it's important to be honest and transparent with you all and say, look, it's not always perfect. It's not always rosy. And I had this topic of burnout that I wanted to cover for quite some time. So now feels like a really good time to talk to you about it as I'm getting over it myself. Let's be honest, running your own business is rewarding, but it's a lot, especially if, and I'm seriously calling myself out here, you're a perfectionist. You say yes to everything. You don't have systems or support in place. You've tied your self-worth to your productivity. God, my therapist will be happy that I'm sharing that with you all, because it's definitely something that I did for a long time. Or even if you just feel responsible for keeping everything afloat 24/7. And the thing is, if you're a solopreneur and it is just you and your business, you are technically responsible for everything in your business, but you can't do it 24/7. It's not humanly possible. So when you love your business, it can be hard to see that it's also hurting you. I love what I do. I love having all the different arms to the business. I love being busy all of the time. I love making a difference to people. So whenever the diary is full and packed out, it means I'm helping lots of people. And I love that. And it's really fulfilling for me and a part of why I do what I do. However, I need to start putting myself in that bracket too. I think it's really important that those people you are helping, you have to look after yourself. So I was scrolling on Instagram the other day. Again, another key sign of burnout is productively procrastinating. Guilty over here. And an episode came up, or a clip from an episode came up from the Diary of a CEO podcast with Stephen Bartlett. And it might be an old one, but it's the first time I'd seen it and it really hit home. And as a parent, I think it really hits home too. And it was all about looking after your human. And we, as parents, even when we're on death's door and we're incredibly sick, we will still get up and make sure our kids are fed, make sure our kids are watered, make sure our kids have got to school, that they've done their homework, that they've brushed their teeth. As parents, we will put aside our own illnesses, our own weaknesses, to make sure that those humans that we have created are looked after, or that we are responsible for are looked after to the best of our abilities. But we need to start seeing ourselves as that human too. If I look at the way I treat my human as me,
I wouldn't dare treat another human that way, with the negative self-talk, with the skipping meals, with the not exercising enough, holding myself up at home and not leaving the house for days. Like, I wouldn't let my children do it. So why am I doing that to my human? And that really hit home to me as something that was a bit of a light bulb. And I was like, I got to look after my human too, as if I were looking after a child, because you put them first for everything as a parent. So if you're a parent, even if you're not a parent and you're interested in like looking after humans, send me a DM and I'll send you the link to the part that I was watching, because I actually saved it into my notes, because I was like, I need to go back and watch this at another time, because that makes a lot of sense to me. Going back to burnout, what's really causing burnout? Because burnout usually isn't about doing too much. It's normally doing too much of the wrong thing or doing the right things without support. So there's 3 questions I want to ask yourself if you are experiencing or are close to burnout. 1, where am I pouring my energy with no return? Is there a part of your life, part of your business right now where you're putting so much energy into it with absolutely no return? So for a long time, for me, that was actually the podcast, because I don't receive any income from it. It's a lead generation tool in effect, but I don't receive any income from it. It's my way of giving free advice to those who can't afford our services at the practice at ABCS UK. Question 2 is, what would I drop tomorrow if I didn't feel guilty? Now, this one is a big one, because you say yes to so many things, and sometimes you say yes to too many things, and saying no feels like you're letting the other person down and you don't want to do that. So whether that's a webinar, whether that's an opportunity to go and give your time for free to help somebody else, what would you drop tomorrow if it didn't make you feel guilty? And 3, what's actually moving the needle right now in your business? It's important to note what will move the needle further down and put those baby steps in place to get there. But right now, what is actually moving the needle forward in your business? It's not always about working less. It's about working smarter on your terms and not everyone else's. And I say this so much, is that your business is your business and you get to build that your way. However that looks, you get to build your business your way. Whether it's only working the school hours, whether it's not working in August like we do at the practice, whether it's working weekends only, evenings and weekends only. I know a lot of business owners, specifically like hairdressers and things, beauty therapists, that only work evenings and weekends. If that's your business, you build it your way, and you have to be brave enough to do that and make sure that you're not saying yes to all the things that are causing you to do extra work, that are leaving you unfulfilled, that a lot of the time don't actually give you a financial return whatsoever. All right, so what do you do if you're already in that burnout zone? Here are 3 steps that have helped me and my clients get back from burnout. And I hate to say it, but multiple times, I haven't learnt my lesson. Number 1, strip it back. What is essential right now? What is essential in your business? What can wait? And what can be paused or binned altogether? So quite often there'll be either a product launch or a new service you want to add or a new software you want to look at. That doesn't need to be done right now. If it's not essential to your business, push it down the line. It can wait. Give yourself permission to do less. Not necessarily forever, but just for now until we get back to that healthy balance again. Number 2, say no more often. And this goes against what most of the business gurus will tell you on the internet. Say yes to all the opportunities because you never know where they're going to lead. And they are correct. However, if you're in bed sick for a week, you can't do anything. And I'm living proof of that. Burnout thrives in businesses with no boundaries, whether that's opportunities, client work, scope creep. If you don't set those boundaries, you're just going to keep building and building on that workload until you reach burnout. Start small. Say no to things that drain you. Say yes to rest without earning it. Something I talk about quite often with my community is being an introvert and the 4 types of introverts. And for me, if I've got anything big, a big event, then I have to take the next day off to recoup and recharge. Now, when I say take the day off, I don't mean sitting at home in my pajamas, although I would love that. What I mean is by taking a day off is doing all the back end stuff, doing the things that 1, I really enjoy, 2, I find fairly easy, so I'm not doing anything that's too challenging for me, and 3, the things that make me feel good about the business. Because sales is not my strength as a business owner. I don't book in sales calls a day after a big event, a day after I've used a lot of energy. Wouldn't do that because I wouldn't be at my best, and it's not worth doing it for that. And number 3, asking for help is my biggest tip in business. Whatever that looks like for you asking for help, whether that's looking at other people in your industry and asking them for support on what would they do, whether that's looking to outsource areas of your business that you just don't like doing, whether it's automating processes to reduce the admin burden, or just talking to someone, getting on a Zoom call, getting on a Teams meeting and just having a conversation with someone sometimes makes the world feel so much better. I do some outsourcing for another bookkeeper in our industry. I help them out with some of their annual accounts, bookkeeping, and tax returns. The clients I look after are the clients I look after for them. However, we get on a Zoom once a week. We talk about the work, but sometimes it's just for a chat. If you're a solopreneur, if you're working on your own or working from home remotely, it's no different than having an office. If you were sat next to somebody in the office, you'd be like, oh, how's your weekend been? How's your kids? Oh my God, did you see that film on telly last night? It's no different. And if you can find someone that you click with and you gel with, that also can help you with tips and ideas and brainstorming, it makes you feel a little less alone and you're not carrying the burden yourself necessarily. And they will also help flag to you when things are getting too much, because there's been many a times that they've said to me, are you sure you should do that? Are you sure you should do that? Are you really happy doing that and this? Do you still have time for this as well? Which I'm incredibly grateful for. And they know who they are. When it comes to building a business that doesn't burn you out, the goal isn't just recovery. So I'm talking a lot about how to recover after these things. But once we've recovered after this, prevention is more important. So that means building systems that can take the pressure off you, creating services and products that are profitable and sustainable, pricing yourself properly. Go back and listen to last week's episode about raising your prices if you haven't yet and you know you need to. And remembering that you're allowed to rest without guilt. Because you didn't start this business to become your own worst boss. The reason you probably started your business is because you didn't like being under another boss. You wanted to be the boss. So how about you be the best boss there is? And if you saw an employee struggling with burnout, what would you do? If you're listening to this and thinking, oh my God, that's me. That's me. Just know you're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just tired. And trust me, I get it. Take the pressure off, reconnect with why you started the business in the first place. And let's rebuild it in a way that doesn't cost your health, your energy, or more importantly, your sanity. I think it's important to note that you're not alone in this. Like I say, I'm currently going through it myself. I'm still recovering. And you don't have to figure this all out in one go either. Like I say, it's not the first time, and it's probably not going to be the last time. As long as I try not to get to this point every time, then I feel like I'm doing better, 1% better every time. But you don't have to figure it all out in one go. But if you're in the thick of it right now, just focus on that recovery and how can we prevent it or lessen the impact of it if it comes again in the future. And that's it for this week's episode of the 3Bs podcast. If you do need help getting back on track, streamlining your business, or just figuring out what needs to go, head to abcsuk.com and book in a free 15-minute discovery call where we can look to see what is the best fit on how I can help you. It may just be the discovery call, it may be a power hour, a group of one-to-one sessions, or monthly recurring support. And if this episode resonated with you, or you know someone that you're like, oh my God, that's them, when I'm listing out all these symptoms of burnout, share it with someone else who might need to hear it. Next week, we've got a guest for episode 136, and you're going to love it. It's amazing. Until then, be kind to yourself, and remember, you don't have to do everything all the time, and I will see you next week for the next episode. Bye.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of the 3Bs podcast. I hope you found it useful and that you're walking away with some motivation, inspiration, or education to help you build a better business. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and of course connect with us on social media for more insights, tips, and behind the scenes content. Your next step in building a better business is just a click away. I can't wait to connect with you, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.